Hello, we have got a fifth line. We're in gate 24 and we're on the fifth line, which is called confession. So we've discovered that individuals in this knowing circuit have to be able to explain themselves, to stand up for what it is they know. And sometimes you also just have to let go of stuff. You have to stop standing up for it. And so we have this line of confession. If a fifth line holds on and keeps explaining their knowing, but not admitting that they're wrong, maybe there's been a mutation and things have changed, then their reputation can come under fire. And this is never a happy situation for a fifth line. So we have a lifetime learning, the courage to admit the mistakes of the past. In the exaltation, it says the practical value of starting with a clean slate, symbolized by the new moon. Rational correction that opens the way to new possibilities. The fifth line has to be practical. We know that. Universalization has to be practical. It's the essence of the fifth line. They are about practical things, having practical solutions. And so we have that right here in the exaltation, the practical value of confessing and starting again with a clean slate. Ra was a fifth line being, and he said that he used to stand up in front of an audience and tell them what a jerk he'd been in his previous life, how he'd screwed up this way, that way. This was his confession, genetic continuity. It's also quite good advertising, one could say. I used to be a jerk, and then I started working with human design, and look at me now. One can hope. Detriment, the tendency to try to minimize past mistakes through rationalization, turning confession into justification, an irrational justification of past mistakes. So what this fifth line needs to learn then is that admitting one's mistake and fessing up is actually practical. It has a practical application. Others can admire it, they can value it, it gives them confidence in the honesty and integrity of this being. Does wonders for their reputation. Justification doesn't have quite the same flavor as confession, but if this is your line, then it's something that you are equipped for, something that you're in this world to experience and to handle. So the 44 line 5 is called manipulation. Is it ever practical to manipulate? This line is going to say, yes, of course it is. This is a practical manipulator who won't do anything unless they must. They will let others do whatever it is they're doing and only step in when things get out of hand, when there's a crisis that needs to be managed. Then they can jump in and manipulate practically. Confession in a certain light could be a kind of manipulation, especially if it's used as a marketing tool. Admitting one's mistakes in order to get a particular kind of response from someone. No, it's a manipulation. Doesn't make it bad. It doesn't necessarily make it good either. It's just what it is. And if it has practical value, maybe that's all that's required. So Venus has gone into gate 27 at 3:28 this morning. This is the gate of caring, and we're quite familiar with this as this was our last sun gate. This is the enhancement of the quality and the substance of all activities through caring. It's nourishing those who need guidance and support, whether that's our own family or an extended family of community. We need to be careful not to overextend and lose sight of our own needs, becoming exhausted and then unable to care for anyone else. Venus is about our personal values. You can see how this would play in with caring, supporting others, making sure that it's not at the detriment to our own energy. The moon is currently in gate 19, so we still have that focus on wanting and being sensitive to the needs of ourselves and others. Gate 13 is in the G center at 15:20, and that's the gate of the listener. So this is a transit where you might find people more eager than usual to tell you their stories and their secrets. This is a gate of memory. It's the start of the reflective process from the experiential way. collecting and remembering things of personal value that can also be of value to the community. And the final gate is a couple of minutes to 1 tomorrow morning, and it's the tribal gate 49 in the solar plexus. This is the gate of principles, and it's principles for the good of the tribe. It's not a power trip. It's the gate of revolution. It's looking for social change if there is any needed to correct imbalanced distribution of resources. This is in a channel with gate 19. So it's concerned with those same issues of resources, food, shelter, other basic tribal needs, and it's the synthesis of all of those things coming together. It's also the gate of the bridegroom and bride and that bargain that can come between them. So that's our weather for today. Thank you very much, as always, for joining me. And I hope you have a lovely day. And I'm really looking forward to summer when I can stop wearing big jumpers. And just to have a bit of sun would be nice, wouldn't it? And it will stop raining one day. Take care, and I will see you soon.